The last days of Pope Francis. The Vatican was cloaked in an eerie silence as the sun set over St. Peter's Basilica. Inside the Apostolic Palace, Pope Francis, now in his late 90s, lay in his modest quarters, surrounded by his closest advisors and doctors. His once strong voice had grown frail, but his spirit remained unbroken. For years, he had championed the poor, called for peace in war-torn nations, and urged the
breaking news to bring you from the AFP news agency that Pope Francis has died. That's come from the Vatican. We just have that breaking news. Pope Francis has died. That's coming to us from the Vatican by the AFP news agency.
The Church to embrace mercy over judgment. Even in his final days, he whispered prayers for refugees, for the victims of injustice, and for a world that often ignored his pleas for compassion. Cardinals from across the globe gathered, knowing the end was near. Some wept quietly, others knelt in prayer. The man who had once been Jorge Mario Bergoglio, the humble priest from Argentina, was now preparing to meet the God he had served his entire life. On the morning of his passing, a light rain fell over Rome. The Pope, weak but serene, asked for the gospel to be read to him. As the words of Jesus echoed in the room, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father," Matthew 25:34, he smiled faintly and closed his eyes. At 9:27 a.m., surrounded by the soft chanting of the Lord's Prayer, Pope Francis took his last breath. The news spread instantly. Bells tolled across Rome, and crowds gathered in St. Peter's Square, many in tears, others holding pictures of the late pontiff. World leaders, both Catholic and non-Catholic, praised his legacy of humility and reform. His body lay in state for 3 days, with millions lining up to pay their respects. At his funeral, the skies cleared, as if heaven itself welcomed him. The presiding cardinal, voice trembling, read Francis's last written message. "Do not weep for me. Continue to fight for the poor, for peace, for the love of Christ. The Church must never be a fortress. It must always be a field hospital for the wounded." As his coffin was carried into the crypt beneath St. Peter's, a single white dove took flight, a symbol of the peace he had spent his life preaching. The world mourned, but for those who believed, it was not an end, only a return home.
People that waited painstakingly to have an audience with the pontiff. He just seemed thrilled to meet everybody. That smile was infectious, and it was so regularly there when he was meeting members of the public, and so many thousands and thousands of people that he would meet throughout the